2-minute warning.
What's up? What up, Steeler fans? Steeler Nation. How we feeling? I know some of you guys are going to be going crazy, man, but hey, we going to get into it. Let me take the headphones off. I don't need these at the moment. I was listening to a little music, same music that you guys are vibing out to. But now it's time to talk about our Steelers, man. Let's take a look. And again, post-game show is not a very, very long show. I told you guys that I would be changing the way I would do it. It's me in and out, giving my knee-jerk gut reactions to what I just saw. On Tuesdays, and hold on, guys, it looks like we have something a little off here on the screen. Give me 2 seconds. Let me fix it. Y'all see me fixing stuff in real time. There we go. Make sure I'm centered. There we go. And yeah, we come back on Tuesday, give a second account of what I saw, and I open it up for phone calls to you guys. So you guys who are new to the situation, unfortunately, I don't take phone calls anymore on the post-game show or the pre-game show, and I'm my bad, guys. I couldn't get my pre-game show going this week. I did a really, really quick one before the game. But you can always count on post-game Turbo Towel Tuesday. So the phone number is on the screen, and that is only going to be for Tuesdays, where the bulk of the show will be you guys calling in, giving me your thoughts. Now, what we're going to do, like we always do, I'm going to say hello to the early commenters, and then I'm going to dive in quick, fast, and then I'll be out of here. YAG TV is in the building. My man said time for Overreact Monday. Yeah, man, absolutely. But we're going to get into it. Rajon39, Ozzy Tanks, Steelers Steelers Freak, C. Antoine Hill. Who else we got in here? There's Speed. Speed is back. What up, Speed? Jordan Mid, Dietrich Bundrick, Dragon, Jay-Z, Rel Fax, Shadow Slayer, Verducci, man. What's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Astro Drip. Who else we got in here? C. Brown, Anthony Cadler, Ali is in the building. Who else? Football Mind 02. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this afternoon? Hope you're doing well. Jared Devil is in the building. Who else? Anybody else new in here? Zuwami is in the building. Y Diggy in the building. Sun Moon, Knight Rider, Jack Bauer, and I think we will cap it off right there. Rusty Nails, I like that name, man. Haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Who else? Big Dro's in the building. He says, unlike the Steelers, I never let you guys down. I hope so, man. I hope I'm worthy of you guys, your view, your follow, your donations, everything that you guys do in favor of me, man. I'm grateful, and I hope I am worthy of that. Kenyon in the building, of course. Father-in-law Leonard Langley is in the building. Y'all should have saw father-in-law, man. His face long, head down, and I'm like, be cool, man. The car is popped. It's week 2. But anyway, let's jump in. I'm gonna give you my quick accounts, and then, like I said, I'm out of here after that. Listen. First of all, here's the reason why I always choose to wait until week 6, week 7 sometimes to give my full account of what the team is. Maybe week 8 this year because we have an extra game. But generally, I like to see 6 or so games, 6 to 7 games, kind of tells me what the team is going to be. Typically, you don't improve after that point. After you're about 6 or 7 games in, what you're doing is what you're doing. Skill level and all of that, technique, all of that stuff is pretty much in the clip. It's locked down at that point. So there's not a whole lot more you can do, right? I don't overreact for weeks 1 through 5. I just don't. Even if we were 5-0, I don't. What did I do last year? Do you guys remember me saying, yeah, okay, we're 6-0. Yeah, okay, I don't believe that. 7-0, yeah, I don't like that 7-0. By the time we got to 10-0, what was I saying? I don't like this 10-0. 11-0, I really didn't like it. And what did I say the very next week? I don't like this matchup against Washington's front. Because at that time, we could not run the ball. I just didn't like it. And we lost. So that's why I always reserve judgment until I can really see what we are. Because the same people who last week were saying our defense is unstoppable, I already see y'all saying how bad they are. Again, to pick with my father-in-law, we was having that conversation just 10 minutes ago. He's so down in the defense. I'm like, first of all, we're down 4 starters. Alualu goes down in the game. TJ Watt goes down in the game. No Devin Bush. No Joe Hayden. And the defense didn't play that bad, folks, especially in the first half. But they can't stop people the entire game. It's impossible. We're playing against other NFL teams. But let's get to it. And I'm going to say this too. Here's going to be a new thing that I'm going to stick to. I'm going to reserve countering someone else's opinion. I'm just going to let you have it. Because some guys, some gals will never see things the same way I see it, and I respect that. So I'm not going to try to change anyone's mind. I'm just going to give you my opinion. And you can take with it what you want. Take from it what you want. If you agree with it, great. If you disagree with it, great. But I'm not going to challenge anyone's opinion. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and move on. Because y'all know I always say this, and like Kenyon would say, there's fair weather fans, there's the highlight watchers, as I call them. Some people just don't understand the ins and outs. They don't watch the game the same way I do, and that's not me tooting a horn. Because it's a lot of you guys listening right now that are the same way. Some of your people that you converse with at your job or whatever, they don't watch the game the same way you do. So they're unable to understand what you're saying. And I'm acknowledging that, right? Now that I have let me get my quote fingers out, a quote unquote platform here, it's my responsibility to share my opinion, because that's why you guys tune in for the most part, and y'all love what we do over here. It's a family affair. But I'm going to go away from challenging opinions. I'm just going to let people say what they say, and I will give you my thoughts, okay? And that's it. What you're going to hear today is just my thoughts. You don't have to agree. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, the Raiders come to Pittsburgh, all right? The inactives going into this game right out the gate. Hayden, Bush, Coward, Haskins, Davis. Now, who's the most important? Hayden and Bush, obviously. Davis ended up being maybe semi-important because Alualu goes down. Really quick, when I get a donation, I'm going to give a round of applause, first of all. And second of all, I interrupt what I'm saying to read the donation. Donation is from Edward James Gardner. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. He says, well, so much for not living in our fears. It's not just on Tomlin, but should have went for it, just me. You know what, Edward? I agree with you. Talk about that 4th and 1. I'm going to get to that. Here's a moment where I disagree with the coaching staff. Okay? And that goes to everybody who seems to think that I love everything Mike Tomlin does. I always tell you guys where I disagree with Tomlin in his tenure, times with his time management and challenges, and even sometimes like this, the decision to go for it or not go for it. But again, I'm not the head coach. I can disagree with him and still support him. We're going to get to that. Thank you for your donation. All right, let's keep it moving. First offensive series. And y'all know I basically note this kind of as the play happens. That's how I do the first and offensive and defensive series. Then I'll just give you key moments that caught my eye. So offense, McLeod returns the ball to the 32. off of a short kick, good field position. Steelers pass on first down and find Juju for 5 yards. They toss to Harris for 3 yards, and then it brings up a 3rd and 2. Ben again finds Juju Smith-Schuster to pick up the first down. Najee Harris gets the ball on first down, loses a yard. 2nd and 11 comes up. Play action pass to Juju, only gets 2 yards, brings up a 3rd and 9, and Ben unable to pick up the third down. He was unable to find Ebron on the pump fake. And I noticed on that play, Kendrick Green was on his keister. He got put on his keister. Yeah. First series. Not picking with your young fella. We already know what your weak spot is. Hopefully you can improve, but it was something I noticed right away. So the Steelers have to punt the ball away. First defensive series. Nice coverage by Schobert on that first down. Steelers give up 9 yards on second down, and then Carr was able to pick up the first down with the QB sneak on 3rd and 1. Alu goes down on the very next play. This is the first defensive series. Alu goes down on the very next play. The Raiders are able to pick up 4 yards on a rush. The Raiders pick up 3 to Renfro on the next play, and then it brings up a 3rd and 3. TJ Watt ends the drive with the tackle on Drake for only a 1-yard gain. Great play by TJ Watt. Again, man, TJ Watt, we all know this, but the guy is good against the run, against the pass, et cetera, et cetera. You know, he's a pass rusher and a run stuffer. That's what TJ does. But then on the kick, the punt, Ray gets called for an unsportsmanlike conduct, backs the Steelers all the way up to their own 8-yard line. So now, again, for you guys who are new, what I do from here is I basically just give you my key moments, and this is in real time. It might not be the next play. It might not be the very next drive. Sometimes it ends up that way, but it's just what I was notating as I watched the game. And like I said, on Tuesday, I will come back and give more focused account after I've rewatched the game twice or so, you know, to really hone in, because I'm going to hone in again on the offensive line, so I have more to say about that on Tuesday. And I will look at a couple more things. Unfortunately, Game Pass still seems to be broken, and I have no all-22, but we'll see. Maybe a miracle will happen. But all right, key moments. Casey Hayward makes a great play on the ball against Chase Claypool, and that was on a play-action pass. You know, great coverage there. Really nothing he could do in that situation. Ben Roethlisberger throws a pick to Trayvon Mullen. It looked like possibly a flag may have been called on Mullen against Deontay Johnson, but what we did see is Deontay Johnson kind of slowed down the route, or he gave up on the route, if you will. Ben was trying to just heave it downfield. I don't always like those situations. Let me just be clear with that. I don't always like that. But it looks like it may have possibly been, you know, a 50-50 chance, so Ben took a shot, throws an interception, and like I said, it looks like Deontay Johnson gave up on the route. All right? Then, right after that, TJ Watt forces a fumble on Derek Carr. Steelers were unable to recover it. It looked like we had recovered it, but we couldn't recover it. The very next play, Carr fumbles the snap, which brings up a 3rd and 14, and then Leatherwood gets called for a false start, brings up a 3rd and 19, and then the Steelers are able to hold them to a field goal. So we get out of that situation only giving up 3 after a turnover. You don't want to give up any points. But listen, man, you only give up 3 points after a turnover where they got the ball roughly around the 40-yard line. That's a win for the defense. Okay, next thing I notated here, great stiff arm by Najee Harris on Abram. Man, he's going to be a stud, guys, and I think we all know that. I don't think it's a secret anymore or a surprise to anybody that Najee Harris is going to be a stud. Juju gets called for holding on the very next play. It was a play to Deontay Johnson that, you know, picked up some yards there, but he gets called for holding, and then the Steelers were able to convert a 3rd and 8 with a quick pass to Juju. Again, Juju being very active early, getting involved early. Breaks 2 tackles to get the first down. We saw him do this, I think, last week. One of them games. That might have been last week. Yeah, it was last week. Obviously, we only played 2 games, right? Breaking tackles and getting the first down. He does it again in this game. Same drive. Steelers unable to convert a 4th and 4. Ben gets killed on that play by Crosby. I mean, I literally thought Ben might not come back in this game after I saw that hit. You guys know the one I'm talking about. Ben got blasted. Yeah. But he was able to get up, obviously, and obviously he finished the game. Next thing I notated here, there was a horrible call on Spillane for a personal foul on Carr. Let me stop for a moment and address the referees. I know they're trying to protect these players, right? I get it. I get it. And usually in these situations, you know, if it's a quarterback and they're in the pocket, they want to protect them. Or if it's a guy who's deemed as a runner, they're trying to protect, you know, helmet-to-helmet contact. Now listen, these are only my eyes. My eyes did not see a foul by Robert Spillane. Did not. It did not look on the replay like it was head-to-head. It did not. And Derek Carr was a runner who was not sliding. He was just crouching down. Why did that get called personal foul? That was ridiculous. Mr. Referees, come on, man. Y'all got to do better than that. And listen, I know it's in real time and all of that, but here's what I would like to propose. There should be situations where refs can actually call for a review of their own call, right? They should be able to say, you know what, let's just take a closer look. It shouldn't have to be challenged by a coach, because I don't think it's challengeable anyway. It might be, but I don't think it is. I know they go to the replay to see sometimes, you know, like they do it sometimes, but I feel like it should always be done, in my opinion. It should always be just as much as a turnover is reviewable, personal fouls or head-to-head contact should be reviewable every time. Because it shouldn't take you that long to see it. It's not like it's going to slow the game down because it ain't even called that much, right? It should take 30 seconds to look at the replay and say, oh, no, it wasn't helmet-to-helmet, or no, it didn't look like he intended on leading with the helmet, and move on. Now, if Spillane actually did that and, you know, maybe you guys saw something different, then I'll back off. But I just didn't see it, and I'm not being a homer here. I didn't see that as a personal foul. I'm sorry. All right, moving on. So Spillane gets called for that. Renfro was able to get the best of Pierre on the next play, spun him around. And then Highsmith was called for offsides. So there's 2 penalties right there. Same drive. And then the Steelers are still able to hold. They force another field goal, and it ends up being 6-0 at that point. Raiders. Again, defense is still hanging in there. Can't be mad at them at this point. The next thing I have here, man, there, Ben finds Deontay Johnson on a deep ball down the sideline to bring up a 1st and goal. And what did I put here? I must have missed some notes here, guys, because I didn't notate. Let me see. Was that when we got the touchdown? Give me a second. I missed a note somewhere. Yeah, we must have gotten the touchdown there because we were leading 7-6. We didn't kick a field goal early. So, yeah, we must have gotten a touchdown on that play. I think that was the Juju play. I think that was the play that we ran. We handed off to Juju. And it's weird that I don't have it notated here, guys. But I'm going to lean to you guys in the chat really quick. Am I right in that series? After we found Deontay Johnson deep down the sideline on the left sideline and we were in 1st and goal? That was the series when we handed the ball off to Juju, right? And I'm almost certain I notated that, but maybe I deleted it by accident. Help me out really quick, guys, and then we'll move forward. I'm going to look in the chat and see what you guys are saying. You guys agree. That was that series, right? I'll wait. I'm only going to wait a few minutes. I just need one of you guys to confirm that, and then we'll keep it moving. Yes. Thank you, Sean McGuire. All right. Yes. So I believe that was that series. So anyway, Steelers able to get a touchdown. Cool. So then what I put after that, I said Raiders convert a 4th and 1 late in the first half to bring up a 1st and goal for them. Raiders are then called for a false start and holding back-to-back. And then it backs them up to the 18. Then the Raiders scored on a holding play. They did get a touchdown, but it wasn't a touchdown because it was a holding. But the reason why I notated that is it looks like Pierre gave up that touchdown, right? But they get called for holding, and then the Raiders are called for an ineligible receiver downfield. Like, they had all kinds of problems going on in that series. At the end of the day, the Steelers able to hold them to another field goal, and at that point, it is 9-7. And again, the Raiders got so many penalties there in the red zone. I mean, if I was a Raider fan, I'm livid at that point, right? But the Steelers defense, again, did enough to hold them to 3. And at that point, it is 9-7. Now, going into the second half, I want to make note of this. This is not going to sound like a lot, but when I explain to you the breakdown, you'll say, oh, okay, I see where you're going. I'm going to talk about this after I get through the second half. I feel like we backed away from the run too early. To start the second half, Najee Harris has 7 carries for 30 yards. 30 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but at that moment, he was averaging 4.3. 4.3 a carry. Keep running the football. You can't go away from it just because it's stuffed on one play. Or I'll get to that in a minute, but I want you guys to pay attention to that because it's going to help my point that I'm going to make about trying to stick to the run. At that moment, Najee Harris was 7 for 30. Doesn't sound like a lot in terms of the overall number, but he was 4.3 at that point. You averaging 4 yards a carry, you're doing something right, party people. That's all. All right, let's keep it moving. Spillane has a nice tackle for loss on a 2nd and 1, forces a 3rd and 4, and Snead is able to beat Norwood for 14 yards, man. And Norwood got worked a couple times in this game. Minka had a saving tackle on that particular play because I feel like if Minka doesn't make that tackle, Snead is probably dancing in the end zone. So he was literally the safety on that play. Spillane then has a big tackle on 2nd and 10, brings up a 3rd and 9, and the Steelers are able to get off the field. Spillane, I notated here, was very, very big. He was very big on that particular drive, on that series. Spillane showed up. He did what he had to do. He made 2 plays and within the same series, made a name for himself right there in terms of how he looked. So then I made a notation right after that, man. I said the Steelers unable to sustain drives. And I said they had one first down at that point, and then they just stall out. And I notated here that Harvin was huge in this game. Harvin had some tremendous punts. Didn't really help us too much because the Raiders continued to go up and down the field. But Harvin had some decent punts in this game, man. That kind of showed why he was drafted and why we kept him in lieu of, Barry. Next thing I have here is Melvin Ingram gets his first sack as a Pittsburgh Steeler, brings up a 3rd and 9. And once again, Norwood gets beat and allows a catch to Renfro. Then James Pierre gets beat by Henry Ruggs to bring up a 1st and goal. And then Raiders score with the pass to Foster Monroe. And it looks like the pass gets by Joe Schobert. And let me say this too, man. Joe Schobert's contribution to our defense also showed up in this game today. He had some decent pass defenses. Okay, he was guarding the guy that time and he got a touchdown. And then late in the game, you saw, for whatever reason, he was isolated on Waller. I'll talk about that later. And Waller were able to pick up a big play on that last drive and kind of essentially ended the game. But you did see times in this game where Joe Schobert's contribution, where he's going to help us. So the more he gets comfortable and the more we start figuring out how we want to match him up and things like that, he's going to be okay. Because like I said, there were a couple times early in the game where you saw Schobert's impact. What else I have after that? Steelers once again do nothing to sustain the drive. They take another shot on 3rd and 10 and another great punt by Harvin. And then the Raiders are able to start that time. We were able to get them to start on their own 6-yard line. Next up, Sutton gives up a 1st down after a missed tackle. There was a big tackle for loss by Alex Highsmith to bring up a 3rd and 7. Then Cam Hayward bats the ball down to force a punt on that particular drive. Cam Hayward again showed up again today. There was a tackle for loss that he had. He was beating his man for the most part. I mean, Cam does something in every single play, and that's what you call consistency. Cam is a man out there, all right? But that was huge because then again, Steelers get the ball back, right? So look what happens right after that. Ben is able to find Claypool with a deep shot, down the sideline again for 50 plus yards. Then there was a muff snap by Ben, and I couldn't tell if it was a wide snap or whatever, but Ben kind of tried to catch it, dropped it, heads up play there. He kind of got rid of it so it wouldn't be considered a loss of yards. And then he was able to find Najee Harris on a check down for his first touchdown of his NFL career, and coming off of a pass, like I said, again, Najee just being a beast, catching that, getting to the edge, breaking a tackle, scooting into the end zone, and dives, to add insult to injury to get the pylon. At that point, it was 16-14. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Mr. Trey Turner. I need to call you in the office, but you know what? I might save the office visits, man. I was given a nice idea about that, from one of you valued listeners, and you know who you are. I'm going to save office visits. Office visits might end up being its own segment, but just know this in case I don't get to it this week. Trey Turner, I need to bring him into the office, because let me tell you something, sir. At first, I was on your side. They showed a replay, and it appears that you spit out of your filthy mouth. And listen, I don't know Trey Turner from a can of paint. I usually don't like talking about people like that I don't know. But I don't care if I know you or not. For you to spit on somebody, let me tell you something. That was one of the worst things you could ever do to me when I was coming up. You was young, and you have your little schoolyard fist fights and stuff like. You can't spit on me, bro. I don't care who you are. Your head would be. I would try to take that head off if you spit out your mouth on me. You don't do that. And as a grown man, you definitely don't do that. As a professional, you definitely don't do that, bruh. If you spit on that dude, you not only deserve to be kicked out of the game for a minute. You need to take a seat for a moment. And we might should keep an eye on you to decide whether or not you're the type of guy we want on the team. And let me explain to you guys why. I know some of you guys are going to say, man, he got caught in the heat of the moment. No. Because let me tell you something. Even after you did that, you kept on trying to get back on the field, arguing with the ref. You doing that with Tomlin right there. And Ben, people trying to hold you back, and you still poking your chest out all in people's face after you spit on a dude? Fam, get out of here with that. Go take a seat, bro. Go take a seat. Now, I don't know all the facts. I'm only speaking, Mr. Turner, to you if, in fact, it is determined that you did actually spit. If you did that, later for you, partner. I have no respect for that. I don't care who do it. I don't care if it was my own flesh and blood out there that did that. I don't respect that. You don't spit on nobody, bro. Period. So, sorry to go off the rails right there, but fam, nah. Nah, you don't do that. But anyway, man, this dude apparently spits on somebody, gets disqualified, right? And of course, the penalty's offset, but he gets disqualified. And that, just imagine that happens earlier in the game. You really, and here's the thing. He might be disqualified for a game now. So it could still have a real impact on the team. We'll see. We'll see what the NFL officers have to say about that. All right, so let's get back on track, man. Then the Steelers force a 3rd and 10 after scoring on the previous drive. Carr throws it deep, a deep shot to Henry Ruggs. And Minka was focusing on Waller. Steelers chose to blitz on that play. I have no idea why they did it. Let me explain something to you guys. It's true that we may not have been getting the same exact pressure that we were getting on Josh Allen with just 4. Okay, that's fine. And maybe you want to hurry the ball out a little bit. I get it. But bruh, it's 3rd and 10. We hadn't blitzed up until that point. And I am not the NFL coach here. I'm not Keith Butler. But I'm not blitzing in that situation. Play coverage. force everything in front of you. Now, I know some of the, we were giving up some things in the zone. And so I get maybe the logic, but you can't do that when you're basically bracketing Waller. Because there's no possible way that Minkah, and look at the replay, and thank you, Charles Davis, who I've met in person and have a picture with. My man, Charles Davis. Thank you for breaking that down. Ain't no way that Minkah gonna recover and get there. He almost did, but he's clearly watching Waller, which we did a relatively good job taking him out the game. But remember what I said, you got to worry about these others, right? He's watching Waller. Once he reads what the play is, he tries to get on his horse. His horse ain't fast enough at that point. And Ahkello Witherspoon, that was him, okay? It looks like they were playing some type of off man, and once he allowed the inside, yeah, that 40 time kicked in. And it was Rapsky. And I don't know how Derek Carr got that ball off because pressure was in his face. But I just felt like at that moment, y'all know me, I immediately text Kenyon and Tony, was like, Kenyon, why did we blitz right there? Why? Let me calm myself down, man. Let me take a sip of water. Why did we blitz right there, man? Situational football, Keith Butler. Or, let's be fair, or Tomlin. Tomlin's been helping out, so we don't know who made that call, but if Tomlin and or Butler did, I'm questioning it. Now again, like I said, they might have a football reason why they did it too. They might feel like we want to get the ball out of his hands. Let's be fair. Up until that point, Derek Carr was kind of picking the zone apart. So I do understand. However, I just feel like if you got it to 3rd and 10, I think the high percentage play there is to play a zone where you're keeping it in front of you and take your chances and tackle the catch. That's just my opinion. I think that's the higher percentage in that situation instead of blitzing. And it burned us. It burned us. So, all right, man, whatever. So that happened. Steelers go on 3 and out on the very next drive, and they decide to punt on 4th and 1. At this point, it's like 6 minutes left in the game, 6:05, I think. Coach, you got to go for it at that point. You might as well, because we haven't shown that we could just outright stop them, and they just scored. You don't know how many more possessions you're going to get. That's a time where I disagree with my coach right there. I disagree with Tomlin on that one right there. Now, listen, it turned out that the Steelers were able to force a 3 and out of their own right after that, but still, I just feel like you go for it right there. You go for it right there. You get that. Maybe that swings momentum, the offense. You know what I mean? It's a momentum thing at that point. Maybe that, I don't know. I mean, we still ended up getting the ball back, and it ain't even no need for me to, it's no need for me to even really talk about the next drive, because we know we ended up getting a field goal, which I'm going to give credit to Boswell. But I just felt like, Coach, you got to go for it right there, and you didn't. Doesn't mean I hate him. I will not sit here and say he's trash and nothing like, no, guys. And again, just my opinion. You have yours. Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He's a good coach for the Steelers, whatever. You're not always going to agree, and that was a moment that I disagreed with not going for it. There you have it. After that, Ray gets a nice return to start the drive, man. Very creative back there. Chooks. I said I wasn't going to chronologize this particular drive, but I might as well mention it to you guys. Chooks got destroyed, and somehow Ben got the ball off to Najee. Remember that little flip? Ended up on his keister. Destroyed. So I can't wait to go back and watch this O-line specifically. But anyway, man, we were able to get in field position, and Boswell hits a 56-yarder, which turns out to be the longest kick at Heinz Field history. Shout out to Chris Boswell. Round of applause, man. Round of applause to the Bos, man. He's been consistent, and now he has the Steelers record of 56 yards. And then after that, man, basically, like I already talked about it, but what it essentially ended the game for us, we blitzed Edmonds. I believe it was third down. It might have been I don't know what down it was, but it was near the end of the game where we were trying to get the ball back. And once again, we blitzed Terrell Edmonds and left Schobert by himself with Waller. And Derek Carr is able to put the ball right over his head. And that was like a chunk play, 20-something yarder, I believe. And that essentially ended the game. So once again, situational defense didn't play out its best in this game. And let me say this, because I know a lot of fans are going to go here because you think you know. And there's only a few of you guys that actually know because you really analyze and watch the game. But it could be the same somewhat situational style of play from last time or last week or games that we win. It's just that this time the situation didn't play out in our favor. Where I would agree is I would not have blitzed. I definitely would not have blitzed to give up that first touchdown to Ruggs. I would not have blitzed on that particular 3rd and 10. It was no need for that. So a lot of times it'd be a play or two here and there that goes against you, and it makes it appear overall that situational defense didn't play out. But I don't know if I could just say that with a blanket statement, because there was other times, other third downs that we got off the field. You see what I'm saying? But it's just in those situations you made the wrong calls, and it cost you. Excuse me. Now, really quick, guys, the quick takeaways I got from the day, and then I'm out of here. Let me get back to it. Steelers had many more penalties in this game, man, than what we saw last week on offense. Had a couple on defense as well. Freiermuth can block. I think we know that. And there's a key thing that I notated here. It seems like so far from what I've seen, I'm going to go back and look at that long. Najee had a relatively long run in the game too. I think in the second quarter. It was like a 14-yarder. But I didn't see the whole play because the way the broadcast, the way CBS showed it, they was cut to another scene and they tried to get back to the play. So I didn't see the full thing develop. But it might have been the second half. But what I noticed was it seems like our best runs so far this year have come from when we run like things like split zone, right? Where you have the tight end that comes from this side and comes back across formation and makes a block. It seems like those are the plays that we're getting good yardage. We did it last week against the Bills. Remember the 18-yard run by Najee? It was a play like that. More of like a seal, a crack back block, or more of a seal type block. But it looks like inside zone split because we're in shotgun and, the way they ran it. And that's what it appears to be, and it's interesting. I don't recall, and again, I got to watch again. It don't look like we're running much power and things like that. And I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm going to get to that in a second. Steelers in 3rd and long, way too much in this game, man. The first 2 drives, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, then we followed that up again with a 3rd and 8, and then another 3rd and 8. We were in 3rd and long way too much. Looks like Benny Snell is the first man off the bench to spell Najee Harris. That's interesting. Let's keep an eye on that. Pass rush seemed to be coming up the middle mostly against us, so we'll definitely have to take a look at Kendrick Green. We know his warts, so I'll just analyze his game this week. Deontay Johnson, man, was having a big game, and I wrote here, Steelers in the drive with I wrote it down there. Okay, so I wrote it in my takeaways, and it was supposed to be in my key moments, but that's why I said Deontay Johnson had a big game early. Steelers ended that drive. Handoff to Juju. Najee had a 14-yard run on that drive, and I wrote here, couldn't see the full play because the broadcast, that particular drive was 7 plays, 75 yards, and the Steelers at that point, I was right. They were leading 7-6. I wrote here as well, should Tomlin and crew have taken a timeout right before the 2-minute warning? Did y'all see that? This is just my personal opinion. It was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. They ran a quick pass to Drake. He went out of bounds. I'm not sure why the clock didn't stop there. I know they've changed some rules here and there, but I thought in the second and fourth quarters, if it was under 5 minutes or 4 minutes or something like that, if you go out of bounds, then the clock stops. But anyway, clock didn't stop. I felt like we should have taken a time out there, right? Because my thought was, if you stop them on the next play, the 2-minute warning acts as your additional timeout. So let's say if we stop them, you're going to get the ball back. And at that point, you have still one timeout in the tuck. But I don't know. You guys might remember that sequence. I just felt like maybe we should have called a timeout there. But then after that, I said the Steelers are clearly trying to push the ball down the field, not sticking to the run at all. And excuse me, guys, if you hear my dog barking in the background, I think someone run the doorbell. Looking at the ring here, looks like one of the little kids is coming for my son, but he's not home. But anyway, really quick, man, my final thoughts. I still feel like the reason why I have Ben Roethlisberger here as the thumbnail. Who ran that offense today? I didn't see as much Matt Canada influence today. I saw a couple shifts around. I did see a couple shifts, but I didn't really see any cute play calls or anything different. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that you could point out and say, oh, okay, that's a little wrinkle. Didn't really see that today. I saw much more of the same. Spread them out, go empty sometimes, or, trips this way, and a lot of shotgun. Even the run, even most of our runs came out of shotgun. And to me, there's only so much you can do out of shotgun. You can run off tackle out of shotgun, but we mainly run inside zone or draw. And it makes it easier for the defense to adjust to what you might run when you're in shotgun. Like I said, I didn't really see no power today. And the Steelers' bread and butter has been power. And Ben taking so many shots, guys. How many times was it 3rd and 4, 3rd and 7, even 3rd and 10, and we just taking deep shots? And listen, don't get me wrong. We hit one to Deontay Johnson. We hit one to Chase Claypool. But how many did we miss? And I do not want to be in a season where we're looking back and saying, man, we got to throw deep 8 times and maybe we'll hit 1 or 2. No, that can't be it. We can't do that. Now, granted, we got to acknowledge that we're playing a defense on the other side of the field, right? I get it. It might look different to us fans than it looked to the coaches. I get it. Like I said, it's just my opinion. However, but I still feel like we came off the run too soon. You can't be afraid to just commit to the run a drive, like back to back. I don't recall us running the ball back to back at all. You can't be afraid to do that, to establish it. Like I said, Najee was 7 for 30, 4.3 in the first half, which means he was popping a couple here and there. You got to stick with it. And I feel like this feels like the Ben Roethlisberger offense of old, where if we run the ball and we only get 2 yards, let's chuck it. I don't like that. I don't like what I'm seeing. I understand what people are going to say. Yeah, well, we were down. Yeah, but we weren't really that far down, bro. And I'm talking about even in the first half, even when we were up for a brief moment. I don't like that. Again, some people are going to say, oh, well, that's kind of hypocritical because didn't you like the deep pass to Deontay and to Claypool? Sure. But I don't want to take 9 of those to only get 2. How about we set some of these up? And I get it. We got athletes out there, but dog, you don't have to take a 50-50 shot every time you see single coverage. Not every time. I don't like it, man. I don't like that. And listen, before I go, it's only week 2. Let's not panic. I saw some of y'all going crazy already. Like I said, shout out to my father-in-law. I'm in there trying to calm him down. Like, dog, it's 2 weeks. Now, if we still looking like this week 6 and 7, then we can start saying, okay, offensive line just never got it together, and we still need more talent there. That's a fair assessment. I'm just not going to allow myself to do that in week 2. I'm just not. Let's see how this plays out. And let's put some respect on the Raiders' name, man. Raiders look like a decent team. Didn't they beat the Ravens last week? And here's another thing that I was seeing and was hearing. Oh, man, if this is how we're going to be all week, all season, then we're going to have a long season. Didn't we just go to Buffalo and beat the Bills in the first game? I'm just saying. We can't go from looking better than we thought to now we're trash in 2 weeks. We went into Buffalo, bruh, and stopped that offense. And let's not forget, Joe Hayden out, Devin Bush out, Tyson Alulu goes down, TJ Watt goes down, Trey Norwood, rookie, James Pierre, young player, Ahkello Witherspoon, newly acquired free agent. Come on, man. And at the end of the day, the defense played well. They did. The first 3 quarters. They allowed 9 points in the first half. The defense wasn't really the problem. We only scored 14 points. Remember y'all was telling me before last week, before the game, man, we're going to go into Buffalo and put up all. Remember all of y'all offensive heavy guys? And y'all just expecting, man, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was like, I don't know. Where that offense at? Where's that offense that y'all was so confident about? I'm just saying, man. Temper your expectations and be patient. Let's see how this transpires. Trust me, if we still looking like this 4 weeks from now, you're going to hear me going crazy too. But again, y'all know I love my movie references. Be cool, man. The car is parked. Relax. And yeah, I see my guy here, a Key TV says Ben is done. I mean, like I said, I'm not commenting on any of that stuff no more. I'm going to let everyone have their opinions. You won't hear me challenge it. You won't hear me say nothing. I'm just going to give you my opinion. I'm going to read a couple comments, but then I'm gone, man. I can't seem to get this show under 30 minutes. Let's see. Doubleback says that's the issue. He says we can't score. Yeah, man, that offense just ain't looking good so far, brother. And again, it's early. Listen, we can turn this around, but we have to. It's definitely going. Again, I'm honing in on these guys on the offensive line because, again, by week 6, we'll be able to know what they're good at and what they're not. We kind of already know what troubles Kendrick Green runs into, but there were times in this game where they gave Ben time. Okafor is still looking a little weak, but again, let me digest that. I'll be able to talk a little more come Tuesday. Edward James says, very true, Sim, but they're going to have to carry this team until this offense gets themselves together. I'll give them till the bye. Yeah, and again, I agree with you. Clearly, the defense is going to be the strongest point for us. And again, today, man, it's fair for us to judge them. But when you're not playing with the guys that weren't out there, and look, TJ making an impact early in the game, and then he goes out. And Melvin Ingram played relatively well, man. But then when a guy like TJ goes out, it's easier to account for Ingram and Highsmith and Jameer Jones. You see what I'm saying? Like that changed the complexion of our pass rush. No question about it. Let's see. What else y'all got? Hunter Johnson says, just didn't score enough points today, but we at least scored in the first half. Last week, it took us until the second half to score, so I definitely see improvement. That's a good way to look at it too, Hunter. And listen, we going through warts right now, and we hung in that game we hung in there. That's the thing. And I know some people are not going to really agree with the fact that we have 4 starters on defense not out there, but that's a big deal. And a guy like Trey Norwood, I kept telling y'all, I'm concerned about the nickel spot. Trey Norwood gave up some plays again. You see what I'm saying? So we got a little weak spot there. Let's see, a couple more. Marlon Nicholson says, Ben ain't done. At the age he needs a running game, and right now we don't have one, even with Najee, and the O-line just isn't that good. Yeah, it definitely appears right now the O-line just hasn't gotten it all the way done, but like I said, I would say this to you guys in terms of this game. There were, I want to say 3 decent runs from Najee and a couple more serviceable runs, meaning 3 to 4 yards. That's not bad. Again, at halftime, the man was 4.3 per carry. We went away from the run. And I'm not saying the offensive line is good, but I don't think we got a chance to really see it today. You can't go away from the run that early. Football Mind says, like I said before, we need a play action and a boot game in the offense. We can't do that with Ben, and that help is inexperienced. That will help an inexperienced O-line. I can't even read today. You're right. And that one play when Ben did a little boot action, got him on the move, I think, in the second half. You see, we're gonna have to find a way to get creative, man, until this offense, a line can come together or at least get the best out of what they can do. Last one, Relfax says, why aren't we featuring Najee enough? He's not getting enough touches. The O-line is not going to get better if we don't commit to the run, 20-plus touches, running and catch. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying, Rel. Why did we not get that man the football? Listen, I'm not saying you run the ball and just keep banging your head against the wall, but you have to attempt to establish it. Again, listen to the raw numbers. It doesn't sound that high on the overall scale, 7 for 30 yards. But when you look at it, that was 4.3. That's not horrible. And there were runs today where even in the second half, Najee was getting 4 yards here, 3.5 here. Then he busted one for 14. Like, you have to get. Let me see what the final was. Let me just see what the final was, man. Let me check this out in real time. I want to see what the final statistics was with Najee as far as his carries. I don't want no update. See, apps are always trying to update something. Let me go directly to the thing here. 2 seconds, guys. I'm definitely gonna watch that game tonight, man. I'm interested to see what the Ravens look like against the Chiefs there. And did Chicago pull that game out, guys? Bengals was coming back. Let's see. Najee Harris he ended up, listen to this. At halftime, he was 7 for 30, 4.3. He ended the game 10 carries for 38 yards, 3.8. You hand the ball off to him 3 times in the second half. I'm speechless, man. I'm speechless. I'm going to end it right there. I'm going to end it right there. Matt Canada. Or it might be Ben. Let me end it with that. Love Ben Roethlisberger. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's the only quarterback that has allowed me to see my Pittsburgh Steelers win a Super Bowl. But it might be Ben. Remember what they said before the beginning of the season, that Ben, they will be running what Ben is comfortable with. You tell me that ain't look like the normal Ben Roethlisberger offense today. Always wanting to throw the football. Always taking them deep shots. Sometimes just get the first down. It's 3rd and 4. We don't have to throw it to the end zone. Look what happened when you checked it down to Najee. He scored. And I'm not saying it's going to happen every time, but I need to see more design, more of the Juju plays. Juju was making some tough catches out there. Let's do some more of those on 3rd down. Or fry your move for somebody. We don't have to take the shot every time, Ben. 10 carries for Najee Harris? Chicago won. Good. So at least in the division, man, we still, and the Raiders got the win over us and the Ravens. All right, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. So appreciate everybody coming through. Of course, guys, come through on Tuesday night. I'll give a quick, another account of what happened today a more factual account after watching the game. I'm gonna watch it 2 more times on the condensed version. Hopefully somehow the NFL has gotten themselves together and Game Pass will be working. But if not, I'm gonna have to watch the TV view because I refuse to pay for another subscription, international version. No, give me what I'm paying for. But anyway, and then after that, guys, the phone queue will be wide open for you guys. Tuesday is your time to shine. All right, so before I go, man, listen right here, man. If you haven't already, if you like what you saw here today, first of all, hit that like button. But then I need you to subscribe, and then I need you to cut on your notifications. How else will you know videos are up and running? Outside of that, man, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Watch some more football. There's a good game going on right now, and there's definitely a good one with interest going on tonight. So enjoy football the rest of the day. And, we'll talk about our Steelers again come Tuesday, man. And don't panic. It's week 2, man. It's week 2. Don't panic. Don't panic. All right? Catch you guys later. Be safe. God bless. Good night. And, of course, I thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.